From Dragging the Line, I'm More Sánchez, and joining me now on Zoom from CTS Interview Room, Joey. Welcome to the show, man.
Jesse, how you doing, man?
Doing good. It took a while for us to get together because of schedule, so I'm glad you're actually on here, man.
Most Texas A&M fans take a long time. It's cool.
Yeah, we were used to that Big 12, so now it's a different ballgame being in the SEC.
You play with champions now. It's a little
boys.
different. I got a question for you. How is it knowing that for years your biggest rival was Texas, but y'all really don't ever play Texas no more?
We don't need to. Now they act like they were huge back then, and now they want to play us because they're not shit. So I'm glad that we don't play each other. I definitely do miss the Thanksgiving games though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do if we stopped playing Auburn. It's not like they're competition, but still.
And then it's Thanksgiving, so it was like we always play the day of Thanksgiving. So we'll see, man. But
thank you, NFL, for
ruining
that slack.
Hey, Joey, tell us a little bit about the listeners who are interested in the CTS Interview Room. What do you guys are about?
I got people interested in this channel.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know.
I put disclaimer, Bama fans.
In all fairness, Mrs. Stingray, Mr. Hell State, he's a notorious Mississippi State fan. I don't know. He considers himself more the super SEC fan now, not just the Mississippi State fan that you loved in the videos. And of course, my cousin Raphael, he lives up in New York, and he don't even know about college football. So there's not a bunch of Alabama fans. But
how did you guys come together, crew?
Wow. It started around 2018, and my cousin Raphael and I was talking about doing a podcast because together we're funny. Together he's funny, and I'm more like funny. Look, in a social place, I'm a funny guy. When I get in front of the cameras, I'm not that funny, but it depends on who you ask. Anyway, so me and Raphael for a couple of weeks were going like recording podcasts, just practicing on what will a podcast be. And we just couldn't really get it together. Fast forward a little bit, my mother passes away, and I wanted to honor her memory. And so I started opening up like an online store because my mom was big into flea markets and yard sales and thrift stores. It got to the point where my mom was like, wake me up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had to go down to the flea market and put her stuff out and et cetera, et cetera. So I wanted to do something to honor her memory. So I opened this little store called the Carolyn's Treasure Shop. When I opened it, I decided that I was going to start a YouTube page, and so I could do little commercials. And if you go back, way back into like off camera, we was talking about, you go back to that interview and you fast forward all the way to the end, there's a commercial for Carolyn's Treasure Shop. So that was the general idea for this YouTube page, was to have interviews with people and then at the end of it, promote Carolyn's Treasure Shop. So then it kind of evolved. It went from just interviewing my friend that played football for Ole Miss. And then I remember I had a social media consultant, and I said, look, if we can reach this comedian, if we can get to the pinnacle of this comedian that I love on social media, we made it. And he said, you need to start small. We got to get to maybe some high school coaches, or because I wanted a sports page. And I said, okay, but I wanted to start big. I had big dreams. That said, I went to the guy's page. I got a hold of his publicist or one of his representatives, and he said yes. And his name was Jermaine Funnyman Johnson. People who don't know who he is, for Alabama fans, he's like the king of all Alabama fans. He got in some little bit of trouble in Birmingham, like that same week we were supposed to interview. So I fast forward, I went up to this Facebook page of this guy I used to see doing these Mississippi State videos, and I friend requested him and asked him, did he want to do an interview? Lo and behold, that's Stingray. And I interviewed him. He was my second interview. And then, of course, Jermaine Funnyman Johnson came back, and on my third interview, plus he had a little scandal on the. So on back to back, I had a former top player at Ole Miss, a guy who was an internet sensation, who was on Comedy Central and SEC Network, and probably the top comedian in the state of Alabama, arguably, back to back. I was like, high school coaches. So high school players, man, come on now. No, and then I just started hustling, and then
that's what I was gonna say. So how many years have you been in the game when you first started the podcast?
Not long, 8 months. It was just for first time, it was just me and Raphael. No, it started in July, actually. I think beginning of June, we started doing interviews, but we didn't start posting maybe July. And so this has only been 8 months.
Man, that's crazy, Joey. What you're stating right now is the same thing for us. Me and my cousin, he lives in South Carolina. We started in August. We're only like 2 years apart. But the difference is that, and something that I like that you said, we just grinded, man. If you don't mind me asking, what's your age? Because I'm 40.
I'm 39, and no, Raphael does not grind.
Yeah, Paul doesn't either. It's like, I gotta do all the shit. But I get what you're saying, man. This is something that I think we should share with podcasters. When they say baby steps and walk, we're old, man. We ain't got time for that shit. We grew up, but we just gotta grind. Like, I've reached out to people and interviewed people that I didn't think I had a chance, but fuck it, I did it. And so to hear that and see that, and you and I are on the same months wise, that's cool, man. I had no idea you guys were only 8 months like we were. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's funny, the people that I have talked to, I've never dreamed that I ever got to talk to them. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about some of the people that I've talked to, and I will say, I like to say friends, but acquaintances that relationships I've developed. People from Oklahoma, people from New York, people from London, people from Australia, people from all over the United States, and just a country boy from Alabama gets to talk to just Bill Engvall, Eric Bischoff,
Karate Kid,
Sean Cannon. Yeah. And I got him on my cell phone. I got a lot of my guests on. Greg Kading, the guy who saw the Tupac and Biggie murder. At any time I could call him, text him. I don't think I can text him and call him and just say, hey, what's going on? But if I have, hey, you want to come back on the show? He's more than happy to come back on the show. And I think that's great. I think the type of relationships I've developed is even better than the content that we have developed here at the CTS.
Now, when you prepare for a show, do you do extensive research, or do you have like you and your cousin research, or you go with
well, Raphael doesn't do shit. I'm breaking the third wall here. Jesse right here wasn't even supposed to have me on. It was supposed to be Raphael and Stingray. And Raphael and Stingray, and this interview's we scheduled this, a month ago? And
2 months ago, yeah, before.
Yeah, 2 months ago, but then we had a cancellation, and then it was like March 9th that we hooked back up. Yeah. And we all knew that this interview was coming up. And then it was like, oh no, I can't make it. Then I was like, come on, y'all. And
next time they want to be on my show, man, it's just gonna be you, bro. I'm kicking them out.
Nah, y'all can't be on Dragging the Line, not sir. But no, go ahead.
I meant to ask you, what do you got in store for this summer? What you guys working on? Projects?
That's funny you say that, because we got a new show called the Bama Standard. We had a show called the Marvin Constant Show, where myself and one of my old guests, Marvin Constant, in which that was another story that will take forever to get into. But what the hell, I'll get into it. We got time. That same social media consultant, I was talking about, I need to help find some guests. And he said he knew this guy who played for Alabama. And I'm thinking that he's got some third string quarterback or somebody that, and then he was like, his name is, if somebody I was trying to get, he was writing a book or something, and he told me it's something constant. And I was like, something constant? I said, let me see the guys. Are you talking about Marvin Constant? You mean the guy? Now, anybody that knows college football in the state of Alabama, Marvin Constant is famous for one play. He basically stopped LSU's quarterback from entering the end zone and keeping hopes alive for the SEC championship and maybe even a national championship. And he got injured on that same play and pretty much ended his career to the extent where he was on top level. He went to the professionals afterwards, but didn't reach the heights. But he became a legend in the state of Alabama. If you say Marvin Constant in Alabama, people know who he is. And I had the opportunity to interview him. And then I interviewed him the second time. And then he was like, hey, let's hook up and let's do a show. So we hooked up and did the Marvin Constant show. And we was interviewing people like Jeremiah Castile, probably famous for NFL's most historic play, the fumble. Andrew Zhao, Tyrone Potho, you may remember him for the catch, one of the most famous catches in NCAA football history. We was interviewing these people and we was having a great time, but Marvin got bored and he found 3 other guys and he was like, I want to do this show. And I was like, fuck you. And so anyway, now joking aside, So he brought these 3 other guys in. Stephen Brown, he's famous for Def Comedy Jam, Comedy Central, a very famous comedian, arguably next to Jermaine Funnyman Johnson, probably one of the funniest comedians that ever came out of the state of Alabama. Then you got Stephen Smith, who's famous for Alabama Magazine. I forgot the magazine. Golly. And then Justin Riley, he's been a big help behind the scenes. He's a graduate from the University of Alabama. And those 4 guys are basically really taking over the CTS to the extent where they're bringing big Alabama football players. And they've been like, that show is definitely going to probably be the flagship of the CTS. And then you got my show, the Sunday Interview, where I interview motivational speakers, entertainers, comedians, athletes, anything that has an interesting story. I'll try to interview you if it's intriguing to me. And then we do special interviews with Bill Engvall and Eric Bischoff and stuff like that. And then you got Stingray, who does the Facebook page, and he'll do like NCAA football news. And Raphael, when he's got time, he'll come on and do something. Whatever he wants to do, he'll do. You know, Raphael knows that he can't get fired from the CTS because
y'all family.
Yeah, we're family. He can do no wrong with me. I'm not saying he's my hero, but he's a cool motherfucker.
So I was counting him as currently right now there's 4 shows that you guys have?
Yeah, we got 4 shows. I think more. We're trying to actually. Me and Raphael are in talks of doing a show just for him, where we can get. But he wants it. We're in talks of how we're gonna do it because of his time, and I guess what I'm understanding is that he's trying to do a Howard Stern type of, or a old time, have a guest on. And he's like a Simon Cowell type of guy. I don't know. Yeah.
That monotone voice.
More if the guest is coming incorrect, and he'll be right there to put them in their place. That's why the Raphael's good. So we all come with something. Marvin comes with the Alabama football players. I come with the hustle and the grind. I work at this thing 24/7, and Stingray's been a big help. Justin's been a big help. The people from the Bama Standard, they've been so cool. It's been a great experience.
Nah, man. I mean, I say this all the time. I'm on the grind. When I'm on the shitter, I'm over here trying to find the next move. You got to think ahead because everybody does podcasts. So you got to think outside the box. So you're right. It's work full time and it's podcast full time. So I definitely get that. One thing that I wanted to run by you is, how do you guys come up with the content since it's just so many people are coming on your show?
We're breaking the rules of YouTube, and that's intentional. YouTube, you have to have a niche. You have to have that one single thing that, you know, that is your thing on your channel. I look at CTS like a network. Like, you got your sports.
That's what I thought when I look at it. So your advertising is perfect, by the way. Okay.
Appreciate that. That when I envisioned it first, it was going to be a sports page. It was going to be sports. But then it was hard. It was so hard to get athletes. I'm talking about good athletes and the connections. And then sometimes you get with people, and then like professional wrestlers, they want money. And I'm guilty of paying some guests, but now I'm like, I'm not paying you because of the quality of guests I have had and the views that we are now getting. I'm not saying we get 200,000 views an interview. By no means, we're still small. However, if I didn't pay Bill Engvall, I'm not going to pay somebody else.
Yeah. I have a rule, man. I'm pretty sure you're probably the same way. I haven't paid for anybody, and I never will. But I also noticed that since you and I are in the same podcast world, I've never seen you guys once post like my page and I like yours. That's bullshit. I think that you guys are genuine. Just even talking to you, man, everything's authentic, and that's why I wanted to do this interview. Like, I looked at everything, and when you were doing that Eric Bischoff video and you had the belt on you, and it looks like you're having fun, man, and that's what it's about, grinding and having fun.
I wouldn't say intimidating, but
he was serious for the first 5 minutes. I saw that. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where if you saw the whole interview, I kept it in. I really didn't want to, but I kept it in where I interrupt him. And I was agreeing with him. It wasn't like I was interrupting him and to disagree with him. I was interrupting. He's like, yeah, I like that. And he was like, hold on. You don't interrupt me. I don't interrupt you. And then we kind of had a 30-second kind of wording towards each other. And I edited that part out. And then if you catch it on the interview, he started talking about my belt. And my belt was signed by Hulk Hogan. Oh, and And you can see his look. Like, I'm not saying, I don't know what he was thinking. For him to come on my show, I was humbled. I was gracious. To this day, I don't know. He's probably not listening to this because he's probably riding a horse around me. But I was very humble for him to come on my show. But when you saw him, I said, hey, this is signed by Hulk Hogan. You don't talk about the belt. You can see him. And, oh, shit. That's my best friends. And so, anyway, it was funny. You had to be there. And see his face.
Yeah, he's all over. What advice would you give someone wanting to pursue a network similar to yours?
You should have started 15 years ago. That's my best advice, because this is so hard, especially if you're a nobody. I'm not saying, like, I'm speaking for myself. I'm a nobody. I'm not somebody important. I'm not somebody I'm a very confident person. And the reason why I keep doing this is because of the C in CTS. I don't make no bones about it. This is to honor my mother. I want her legacy to carry on. I don't think me interviewing a porn star was something that she was ever going to, oh, that's my mom's legacy. But hey, stuff happens. With that said, this is for my mom, and I keep that in my mind every time when it gets hard, it gets tough, and I'm like, man, I can't get a good guess here. I'm getting rejected by celebrities and all this stuff, and I just think of my mom who woke up early in the morning to get me up for school and then go to work at 9 o'clock in the morning and then get home to 10 o'clock at night, 5 days a week. Then on Saturdays, work from 9 to 1, and I thought about how many times she wanted to quit and didn't. So just, if you got that drive and more times you get knocked down, and when you're trying to find a good guest, just remember this, the law of averages. You got to talk to 100 people before you get that one yes. Yeah. So if you're not sending out 100 emails to different types of people, you're not going to get nobody, especially if you're slow, like if you're small like us. I don't lie to people. We're right at 500 subscribers. We're getting views, but that's because I'm spending thousands of dollars on Google Ads to get these views. So it's a grind. If more times you get up, because you're going to get knocked down, get your ass up and keep hustling. And that's my best advice for you.
You're right. I think outside the box. Like, I've gone on their Instagram and leave a actual message stating, hey, I want you on the show. Think outside the box. My emails are probably like 4 sentences long just because they get them every day. So definitely relate to that.
And it's like something Marvin told me when I told me, because here's another funny story. Jermaine Funny Man Johnson happens to be Marvin Constant's cousin. And I remember on our second interview when me and Marvin was talking about doing a show together, I was telling him a story about Jermaine. And he was like, I couldn't believe that this guy I've been following on social media would say yes to. We had 6 subscribers at the time. This was 8 months ago. We had 6 subscribers, and those 6 were three Gmail accounts that were blown to me. So the fact that Jermaine Funny Man Johnson took the time and say yes to an interview with me, especially at a difficult time in his life, first of all, I tell everybody that I'll be always indebted to him and Stingray. And second, Marvin gave me the best advice that I still follow today. You have to reach out to people, because if you don't, how do you know they're going to say yes? If I didn't reach out to Jermaine, I would never know. And if I didn't reach out to Stingray, I would never know. And now Stingray's a partner of mine. Go figure.
Damn, dude. That's awesome, brother. Last question here. Where can the listeners connect with you guys?
Oh, right now we're on contract with Pornhub.com. And
on the premium, they got to pay for that premium.
They got to pay for the premium. If you watch the old Marvin Constant shows, you can see Marvin loved to take his shirt off. Now, like I said, we got a couple shows on YouTube. Catch us up. Just go to the search bar on YouTube, CTS Interview Room. I'm going to ask very humbly, nicely, hit the subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the more views we get, the better guests we can get. With that said, CTS Interview Room on YouTube. We got, if you're a big Alabama fan, or you're maybe even a Texas A&M fan, you may want to watch the Bama Standard. Host Justin Riley, Stephen Brown, Stephen Smith, and all SEC linebacker Marvin Constant. That's where you can find us. Before you let me go, I got to ask you, what do you think Texas A&M going to do this year?
We got y'all this year.
You got us. You going to take us this year?
We're gonna take y'all.
Where you gonna take us? You gonna take us to Longhorn Steakhouse? Where are you gonna take? Where you going?
Where you want to go? You coming to? Or do you travel to the game? Are you gonna come down to Texas to watch that game?
I've been to Texas twice. And the only reason why I go to Texas is to eat the barbecue. I'm not
There you
going.
go, man. Look at you. I'll do this. We'll bet barbecue, bro. If I lose, I'll ship you guys barbecue.
Oh my good. Would you please? Texas is the king of barbecue. I don't care I love Alabama to death, but they lost my barbecue card because I'm a private. I was about to say because I don't do many cases, but I have traveled most of this country: North Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Texas, Louisiana. I'm telling you right now, Alabama lost their card when I went to North Alabama and I ordered some barbecue and they had mayonnaise-based barbecue sauce.
Oh, hey.
And after that, Alabama lost their barbecue card with me. And it hurt my feelings. But
we go circle back in October because I know we played, I think it's the second week of October.
Yeah, you really think they got a chance against Alabama? Come on.
Hey, man, 9-1. You guys lost a lot of players. If you look at it, you guys lost a lot of players.
Do you understand the recruiting process that Nick Saban does? Every time we lose a player, we gain two great NFL Hall of Famers.
Yeah, but we still got the same players.
I'm going to tell you right now, and please believe me, if you're a college football fan, and it's going to happen because anybody that watches college football knows this, to win a national championship is a blessing. If your team's ever won a national championship, it's a blessing. Always remember that year that your team won a national championship. With that said, nobody in college football is ever going to win anything like Nick Saban has won at the University of Alabama. It's never going to happen again. This is a very historic time, not just for the University of Alabama, but for college football. And the fact that we're seeing this is incredible. And we're never going to see this again. So for Alabama fans, I hope we enjoy. Trust me, I was a fan when it was probation and Auburn was beating us 6 years in a row, and I'm a fan now. So I hope that we all just cherish these moments and realize that our time is going to come where just having a 4-6 season is going to be like the greatest thing ever.
Shit, that's the thing about our conference, man. We keep killing each other. 1 year it's you guys, then it's LSU, and it just sucks. Then we end up losing to like Mississippi State. I'm like, but before I let you go, man, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Quick question, quick answers. All right.
All right.
You ready? What is one celebrity you'd like to interview on your show?
Hulk Hogan.
All right. Greatest Alabama memory that sticks out?
My first Iron Bowl, 2009.
What's your prediction for Bama football this year?
Another national championship. For real. No games.
I don't see that, brother, but we'll talk. Who's a better coach, Saban or Belichick?
Oh shit. Right now, Saban.
Yeah, I agree with you there. All right, man. Was there anything that I didn't ask quickly that maybe you want the people to know?
I'm still looking for where the babies come from. If anybody can help me with that answer, these babies keep showing up everywhere. So if you can tell me what am I doing wrong, please contact us at Carolyn's Treasure Shop on Facebook. That said, Jesse, it was an honor. It was a pleasure. And I'm humbly say this. I consider you part of the CTS family. If you ever want to come on CTS, man, you always welcome.
Just let me know, man. I'll be on your show. I appreciate it. I have fun.
Matter of fact, stop this recording. We're going to talk about it right now. Stop this recording. Sign us off.